Hey guys, Kev here. I want to do my full review on the Something Obscene Company / Arcane Design Antimatter. This is a cool ass piece. This was sent to me directly by Israel Backus. He is the guy behind Arcane Design. I do have, I think I have the pack or the pouch right here. This is what it comes in. You get this kind of zipper case, which is really cool. This is definitely one of the nicer cases I've gotten. Here's a card for the Antimatter Blade Steel M390. This is the murdered out version. It doesn't even say black. It's just murdered out. Double edge. You can get a false edge version. You have a Something Obscene Company sticker. You have an Arcane Design sticker, and then, of course, you have a cloth. This looks to be just a Something Obscene Company cloth. And then the knife actually comes in this cutout sort of deal, like that. It's not actually cut out, but it's kind of the shape of the knife, so when you place it in, it kind of stays there. That's how my Necronaut came, too. So, yeah, guys, this is a double-edged flipper, right? So it's a dagger blade on a flipper made by Riot, completely murdered out. Just a super interesting knife to me. I've enjoyed having it. I've carried it a couple times, gotten to use it a little bit. Just cut paper and stuff like that. I didn't cut anything crazy. I just wanted to try it out. I can show you here. Skip ahead to cutting, and I'll just show you how the edges are, which is cool to say. So the trick to knowing which side you're holding it on is, one, you can see the frame lock here, and two, the backspacer. You'll see it has the Something Obscene and the Arcane Design logos there. So you know to put that in your palm, right? So here is edge number 1. Absolutely sharp as shit. Edge number 2. That is so cool to have two edges that both cut extremely well. I mean, you can literally just cut on one side, flip over, and cut on the other. And I don't know, maybe you could sharpen each side differently. I don't know, like one side could be a working edge, one side could be a fine edge, right? Like, I don't know. It's not that obscene to be carrying something like this, considering we carry folders. Like, I carry a folder every day. It flips out, and I shake it shut without touching the blade. Like, I barely ever touch the blade on a knife, right? So, what's the difference? I just drop it and shake it down. It's really not that weird. The only issue is, like, I guess, when you're gripping it, if you put your finger up here, right? Which you get used to really quickly. And I've even done that without cutting myself. You have to put a little pressure down to cut yourself. So cutting's really good. And let's just jump into aesthetics. I do want to show you this in my unboxing or first impressions. I unboxed it on our live stream on the Edge. So, yeah. But it has this kind of like radar antenna looking thing on the clip. Do you see that? I couldn't show you very well in the car last time. And that gives it vibes of like Frankenstein, Dracula type stuff to me. Because there's always electricity involved with those two. And yeah, I just think that's a really cool touch. And then when it's closed, you have, obviously the blade is fully contained in the handle, which is awesome. And it's fully symmetrical. I mean, other than the clip and the backspacer, everything is like identical, geometrically symmetrical. Jesus. And that's something I really notice about Israel's design language. Now, I know Something Obscene Company and Felix are involved here, but the Necronaut, for example, the way the blade and the handle communicate, sort of, the symmetry there is just beautiful. It's something that really spoke to me about that knife and why I wanted one, even though it's so different from anything I usually would like. And I still have it. It's out on loan to a couple people right now. And that's why I like that knife. It just speaks to me in some way. And that's his mind, right? That's his design language. It's really cool. So, you know, I'm just really excited to see what Israel has coming. And same with Felix. I really love my J-Cape 3.5 from Something Obscene Company. And as I said, I love the Necronaut, and I have a crawler pre-ordered. That's Israel's next project, or next knife. It's on the way out. Like, pre-orders are over. Or maybe they're closing. I don't know. Check. If you want one, it's fucking sweet. And then he just announced the Abyss, which is like a Bowie with the Necronaut handle. So I'm excited for that. I'm definitely getting one of those. And then he also has a pry bar coming called the Space Bar, I think he decided on, because everybody's making him call it that, which looks awesome as well. So, like, it's really cool to see these makers like Something Obscene and Arcane just blossoming in front of us. And it happens all the time. And I was getting to a point in my collecting where I started feeling like I'd seen a lot and everything, maybe. And I was getting bored. But then you find a new rabbit hole, right? And that's where I'm at right now. This rabbit hole with Something Obscene and the Arcane design and all these knives that they're coming out with. And they already have out that I didn't know about. And just so cool. And the antimatter is right up there with those. You know, it's just so cool. Look at it. I mean, double-edged dagger blade, completely murdered out, just like coffin-shaped handle. And it is a functional knife. It works well. Like, it's just so funny and awesome. So aesthetically, I really love it, guys. This is a home run for me aesthetically, even though it's out there, right? But that's cool. Ergonomics is surprising. So you would think, looking at this, it sucks, right? Like, it's just all gimmick, right? It's just a gimmick. No, like, I showed you the blades are fucking sharp. The ergos are solid. Like, they're not great or anything, but if you hold it like this and then put your thumb in this kind of choily, rampy thing right here and your index finger in this one, I mean, you are locked in, which is good because you're guarded from these double edges, right? So I think somebody with a smaller hand than mine would be even more comfortable. So if you have like a medium to large glove size hand, even small, I think you'd really, really appreciate this. And even with my large to XL size hands, it fits. It's not like the most comfortable thing, but I can also hold it like this if I want. But I just like doing this. It feels right. So ergos are fine. I mean, they're like a 5 out of 10 if we're talking about all knives, right? It's not like some great ergonomics, but for what it is, it's fucking good, right? Sounds. So, it's good. It's not great. It's like a 6 out of 10. It has good click-clack sounds, but not amazing, right? Carry. This clip is surprisingly good, guys. It goes in and out of pocket very well. No issues. I have found that Israel is good at clips. Now, the only knife I have from Something Obscene is the J-Cape, and that clip functionally sucks, like, because it's a lightning bolt, and it catches in different spots, and, you know, but that's part of the design. I get it, and I wouldn't change it. But the Necronaut and this so far, I've noticed he knows what he's doing with clips. They have good retention. They pop in, they pop out without tearing up your jeans. They have plenty of clearance, which is good, but they're not loose. And then, as a hotspot type deal, it isn't. It's flat. It's completely flat, plateaued at the end. So in your hand, you barely even know it's there. So far, I'm very impressed with the way Israel works the clips into his designs. So there's that. All right. Aesthetics, ergos, cutting, carry, sounds. Action. I love to leave that one for last. Guys, it's Riyadh. Perfect detent. I mean, They are just so good at D10s. Now, I will say, I have noticed some variants from Riyadh. Normally, I would say they're like very good with tolerances in terms of that. But I have noticed lately, like I had two J-capes. The one I have now is a little lighter than the one I had before, which I had them at the same time, so I could tell. I would slip off of the other one because it was strong. And this one I don't slip off of. So, like, the carbon fiber one I had, I would kind of like, see, I can't even do it. I would slip off because it was too strong almost, and the jimping wasn't enough to grab me. This one, I never slip off, right? And yeah, I can fail it, but like, I much rather have this detent than the one on the other one. So, but I've noticed a difference. I've also noticed a difference in F5.5s. The two I have now are identical, but the micarta versus titanium, they were a little different. The Aloni Knives Goat, I have two of these. The other one's on loan. This one is a little bit stiffer than the other one. You can't fail either of them. But what I'm getting at is there is a little variance. But no matter what, you still get a good detent, which is important. Because having variance and then having too stiff or too light sucks. You know, like the way Riyadh does it, even in their variants, it's all in the good range, right? It goes from good to great to fantastic, and you're always going to be in there somewhere. You're never in the sucks because it's too weak or sucks because it's too strong category. So with all that bullshit said, this detent is perfect, actually. Because you have to get into this little slot here. You can't just slap down on it like you would, you know, other flippers. You have to kind of get your finger in, pull down, and it flies out. It seems like Israel likes that type of design with a flipper. From the Necronaut and this, at least, I've noticed, he likes where you have to kind of use your fingertip and kind of push button it or slap it down. I don't know how to explain that better. But that's just kind of what I've noticed about his designs. And I personally really like that. I'm not the kind of guy who wants to like hammer down on my flipper tab from a mile away, right? Shout out to Dirk Warning. But yeah, so it's a really solid detent. And it flies out every time. Closing action is not like drop shut. Now it does drop to there. And then very smooth, guys. I put a little bit of KPL in here on the bearings and a little bit of heavy on the detent ball track because it was a little stiff, but it's a brand new knife. You'll see there, very smooth. There's no resistance or anything. Like, it's just solid. But it's not like a drop shutter, which I think on this knife, that might have been good. And maybe some of them do that. It might have been good to have a drop shutter because then you don't have to worry about touching the other edge, right? Because what if it gets caught? Well, you can use this. And you just push it down like that. So there's ways to do it. Now, left-handed, guys, this knife is not the best knife for a lefty because of that reason. You don't have a way to drop the blade down and then shake it. Right-handed, drop, shake. Left-handed, usually I have to use something to get the blade moving, and you can't touch the blade. You can, but it's stupid, right? So what I do is I unengage it, disengage, and then grab this tab right here and try to work it down like that. And honestly, I just don't do it left-handed. I've done it maybe 5 times. I play and fidget with this knife right-handed. It's not good for lefties. I mean, you can get used to it. See there? It's not hard. But, like, I wouldn't want to be doing this down on the couch after a few beers, you know what I mean? So, this is definitely a right-handed knife, I'll say, for sure. Value. So, I've noticed that the price is different. If you go to somethingobscenecompany.com or whatever, it's like $350. And if you go to Arcane Design, they're like $400. I don't know what that's about. They can price their knives however they want. I'm not saying anything about that. Maybe they, I don't know. Maybe because it's been a while. This run came out, I think, a while ago. I don't think they sold out right away because it's a, you know, it's a niche type product. You know, I don't think it was as popular as maybe they were hoping. I don't know. I'm not trying to, you know, but they're still available, basically, is what I'm saying. So maybe they lowered the price. Felix lowered the price or something. I don't know. So they're $350 over there, $400 on ArcaneDesign.com. Maybe it's the different variants. I don't know. You can check both, see whatever, you know, buy whichever one you want. But I do want to but I want to point out that Israel over at Arcane Design was the one who sent me this. He was nice enough to send me this without me paying for it to review it, and I'm going to send it back. He also donated a shirt to my giveaway, which I gave away on YouTube or Instagram already. So he's been very kind. So if you do want to pick one up, maybe slide over to ArcaneDesign.com. So that was not a promotion. That was just me saying, you know. One thing I want to point out, since I'm not even in any kind of order here, I will note that sometimes if I accidentally, like, not fail it, but like if it doesn't close all the way or something, I have a tendency to do this, take my thumb and push it in without even thinking. Because that's just what you do with a blade, right? You just kind of like close it. You got to be careful with that. You know, you got to pay attention when you use this knife because it has an edge on both sides. So there's that. We talked about the price, $400, $350, whatever. Is that a value? No, but there's nothing wrong with the price. It's Riot-made product. It has two edges, so like more work. It's a niche product. It comes from two different designers or companies, and then Riot makes it, so you have three parties involved. You also have smaller companies involved, Arcane and Something Obscene. It's not like Spyderco. So that price makes sense. I have no issues with $400 for this knife. Or $350. $350 is even better, right? But it's not like the best deal in the world. So it's just the price is what it is, and it makes sense. And lastly, recommendations. I kind of hit on that. If you're right-handed and you like interesting stuff like this, I mean, you know already watching this, if this is interesting to you or something you would want in your collection, whether it's to carry every day, carry every once in a while as a novelty, or just to have in your collection to fiddle with every once in a while and, you know, tell the girls that you hang out with that you have this cool-ass double dagger because you might get laid, right? So that's up to you. But I cannot recommend it to a lefty functionally. If you're like me and you just like knives and you love to have cool stuff, then yeah, fuck yeah, check it out. But if you're right-handed and you're seriously thinking about like getting this to use, like some people will use this knife every day. Yeah, be right-handed and just know that it has two edges and you can cut yourself. So be careful. That's it, guys. Big thank you to Israel again. He's been fantastic every time I've spoken to him. He loaned me this knife again. He's never met me. He sold me one knife, and he's just a nice guy, right? And he's a good maker. And I don't know if you guys remember, but with the necker nut, I had some minor issues, and he was fantastic about it. And that gave him a customer for life. And now I've already pre-ordered the next knife, and I'm definitely going to pre-order the next one and get that pry bar. This one I'm gonna skip on just because it's not for me. You know, I'm not into the double dagger thing. I'm left-handed. It's just going to get sold in a couple weeks, right? But it's really, really cool, guys. This is the Arcane Design and Something Obscene Company collaboration, antimatter, OEM work done by Riot out of China. Absolutely cool, fantastic piece. I am so glad I got to check one of these out. I've been interested ever since I saw one. So, again, thank you, Israel. It means a lot that you let me check it out. I'll get it back in the mail to you. And I love you guys so much. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.